Elena Nezhinsky with Complete Humanity series for long-time spiritual seekers or anybody who is looking to live more authentic self, to find freedom to be themselves and stop looking to fix themselves, improve. Well, we always can improve by allowing ourselves to be. It's a natural improvement that does not require effort and years of trying to fix something in ourselves. So how is that we still seeking for so many years, for a lifetime, maybe lifetimes, and we can't be ourselves? We're always looking to fix something. As I proposed earlier in this series of videos, it's all happened a long time ago, maybe in the beginning of this life, or maybe the mind already came with this. It's all about pain. We don't want to feel the pain. It's not that we don't want to feel the pain. It's pain is so unbearable at some point that we push some things very, very deep. They can buried so deeply that there is no access to some areas of our own psyche. And when we are very little, a lot of things can overwhelm the baby's mind. Everything besides love, outside of love and nurturing for the very little organism, overwhelms. And of course, human mind and human organism is very adaptive. I hope I pronounce this word right. It can adapt, but if something repeated or something is very, very strong in the environment, I don't want to bring the examples because in this way it will resonate more with people. Doesn't need to be examples. So if something is unbearable, very strong in the environment, then the adaptation fails. Well, the adaptation takes a different route. It's a different adaptation. It's creation of protective mechanisms, protective dynamics. And then something very important get pushed very deep in mind, inaccessible to us. And now imagine how much is pushed deep in the mind. And as adults, we carry all that baggage, which is very unconscious baggage, but very heavy. I know it's very heavy because I try to unload all that baggage for 2/3 of my life. I had no idea what's in that baggage, but it was very heavy. And it's probably heavy for everybody who is on a spiritual path, because that's why we embark to look for love and light, for lightness of being. That's totally true. That heaviness is very felt in us, though not understood, and no clarity at all, but the heaviness is very much felt. And because of that heaviness and or pain, we embark to learn how to unload. And we think that we need to unload the whole human all together. So it all very deep in places that there is no access for us, because that's how protection works, protecting us from feeling some very, very strong feelings and very painful feelings. And in many cases, most of the cases, it's one of the feeling is a feeling of shame. Different situations, but the same feeling. And so we don't have an access, because that feeling of shame is like a dragon that guardian a castle where the beautiful princess hides. And the dragon is a feeling of shame. In all its varieties, and that's why dragon has more than one head. Different heads represent different variations of what happened, how it happened, and what hides behind those doors. And if we are lucky, then we have some kind of warrior. Maybe we are a warrior. In my case, it was opening of the mind to see this very human, the struggle of this human, and compassion arose to this very human. And this compassion was that warrior that came to have a battle with a dragon. And love and compassion helped to slay the dragon of shame, and the beautiful princess got free. I don't know how I came to this fairy tale right now. It sounds like a good topic for a children's book. It's very deep in all of us. These areas that are hidden in all of us. Don't think that you are immune to the human condition. All of us have these deep, dark places that we don't want to see. We don't want to look there. And protection mechanisms save us from looking there. The only problem that the heavy baggage that does not allow us to feel complete, fulfilled, satisfied, relaxed. We can't be complete, can't feel complete with all that baggage that we don't want to look at. The only when we complete ourselves if we open to any areas that are hidden, and we allow that to come up for us to familiarize ourselves with parts of ourselves that are hidden. And it's very scary when it starts to come up to the surface of the mind. Very scary as more closer we come to that, more scary it becomes, because the feeling of shame, that it's something really bad there, something that we don't want to see and we don't want others to see. But if we proceed, it starts to come up to the surface of the mind, just like a boil, physical boil on a body starts to erupt. And that eruption looks very intense and painful, but all of us know that it's healing process. And the healing begins when the pus comes out from the boil. Same thing with hidden places in us. The pus comes out. Which we didn't want to see or feel. And to appear in public, you know how we cover the boil. So we try to cover it to keep the image all together. And the pus is coming anyway. So you're lucky if you saw that pus yourself first and accepted it and clear out the boil and got free from that infection on your body, or that dark place in you, that deep place. It's not dark, it's deeply hidden. And you're not so lucky if you try to cover the boil, but the pus comes out anyway, and everybody around see that. And you still keep covering it and unsuccessful. Then it's really painful. But cures almost immediately. Or maybe it's actually your lucky ticket, because otherwise you would keep holding that in yourself, keep carrying that to the rest of your life. If something is very intense, it's a gift. It helps. It helps the mind to give up the control. Because all these protection mechanisms based on control of the mind, and mind knows how to control, believe me. You don't need to. You know it yourself. And so when it's very, very intense, just like you can't push the boil back into the skin, it's an intense process of clearing all that pus. So it's the same with the mind. If it's very, very intense, you know it's healing process. When it's actually going, it's hard to see that it's a healing process because it's so painful. You just want this to go away, but it won't go away because it's too much came to the surface of the mind. So it's very accessible now. Everything that is very deep pushed, that is difficult to uncover, and it's in unconscious, so you don't even know, and you don't even want to uncover anything. Let it sit there. But if it came out to the surface of the mind, it's right there. Healing process is really going. It's a gift. It's just a matter of going through that painful process. That's all it is. And in any way you can. I talked to my friend recently. She was in distress. So I told her, doesn't matter how, how long distance running, doesn't matter how, by running, by walking, by crawling, just do it. And then you will be successful, at least with that very area that was hidden. But going through one of these kind of experiences in life that are very, very painful, sometimes you don't have a choice. It's not your courage or anything. So one of the experiences like that can set you free, can show you yourself, your own strength, your own courage, your own wisdom, your own freedom, set you free to accept, start accepting, start seeing, start allowing all of the hidden areas to come out. And the process is not that painful anymore. Doesn't have to be a boil the size of your head that everybody see it. One day you just notice that you just love yourself with all the different hidden areas that are not hidden anymore because they don't need to be hidden. That's how it works. They're hidden until they don't need to be hidden. As soon as there is freedom for everything to be, they just get visible and get loved. Because the dragon of shame is not there anymore. There is no protection, no need for protection. You can just be vulnerable human as you are, with all your vulnerability. It's beautiful to be vulnerable. It's actually a service to the world to be vulnerable and open, and allow, by this in yourself, allow others to be vulnerable and open with you and with themselves. And then vulnerability becomes a strength. As before it was something that needed to be protected, at some point vulnerability become something that is just natural. And my wish for everybody, whatever vulnerable places you hold hidden, for them to come out and be a service to others. Thank you for listening and giving me the opportunity to do this work.